Hi, here is the webcasting team of AGM 2016. We deep apologize for the Jean-Paul Pianta speech because we had got some technical problem, and sometimes Jean-Paul Pianta put his microphone on the table, and it's for this reason you gonna have no sounds. We're very apologize for this. Despite this, we hope you will be enjoyed by Jean-Paul Pianta's speech.
French chiropractors, and I would like all of you to put all your energy and all your applause, whatever the noise you can make, to welcome Mr. DC Jean-Paul Pianta.
Hi to all of you. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for the organization. Are you happy with the organization, by the way? Yes. Didn't hear you. Yes. Very good. I thank the people who got involved in that bureau, Solène, Chelsea, or the few other people. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for being here. You all are young, beautiful, and smart. I'm very happy to be here because each of you could be one of my kids. I have 6 children. So I respect the power that's in front of you. We're going to speak about this today. The theme is the role of chiropractic in our society. It's a good topic to talk about this. Because it depends on your belief system. What do you believe? It all depends on you. You've got everything in your hands. So we're going to say one word about the belief system. I believe women cannot drive cars as well as men. Everybody knows it. If you think this way, you're going to act in a certain way. Okay? We call them consequences. And then you're going to get results from that. And then you're going to get experience. Experience. And the experience will build again your belief system. Okay? Think about it for 1 second. What do you believe? Do you believe you are a loser or a winner? Do you believe you want to make a difference in our society? Yes or no? Do you believe chiropractic is only for pain, backache, neckache, or do you believe it's something else? It's all yours. You choose. You pick up. The strongly you believe something, the more it reinforces the consequences, the results, your experience, and you are caught. You are in jail. You understand this? Very simple to understand. So the whole idea is to try to replace belief system by intelligence. Remember this beautiful sentence from Socrates. Socrates said, somebody who believes to be somebody forbid himself to become somebody. You understand the value of this sentence? So it's all your choice. If you are stuck with some idea on belief system now, try to get free from it. So I give you a little exercise. Try to think for a second that women could drive almost as well as men. Just a bit change. Don't go too quickly. And then if you change a little something here, it's going to change something here, right? And it's going to change this. And it's going to change this. And this is the whole idea. I've been practicing for 45 years. I wish each of you the same pleasures I had, or I still have, practicing my job. That's all I want. If I could help you achieve this, I would be very, very happy. You know why I jump from belief to that? Because each new patient is a new situation. This is something fabulous about our profession. We are not in the standard business. Each patient you see is a new person, unique in the history of mankind, where we had about 100 billion people so far. Each time you see a person, unless you believe, you only see a headache, or a backache, or a pain in the knee, or the shoulder, and you forget to see the whole person. You realize the difference. The only way to fight belief system is intelligence. So, there are many definitions of intelligence. Platon said intelligence, or Plato, as you say in English, is the possibility to acquire knowledge. Wittgenstein said intelligence is the capacity to conceive the future on uncertainties. But I will share with you another definition that I love from a medical doctor called Chiompo. He wrote an encyclopedia, and he said, intelligence is the capacity of an organism to pick up an information, analyze it, study it, to produce a survival answer, unique, punctual, individual. Think about it. Intelligence is the capacity to perceive an information, we can call stimulus, analyze it, study it, to conceive a survival answer, unique, punctual, individual. In other words, when we adjust somebody, we introduce an information, and we don't know what's going to happen. Remember Gonstead? Gonstead said, nobody knows the power of an adjustment. You know this sentence. Why? Chiropractors always ask why. Pain there and there, why? Problems there and there, why? And you know what's fun about it? It depends on you. If you are busy thinking about playing golf in the afternoon, you will only see the pain, maybe, which is a shortcut. But you are free because you don't play golf, maybe. Then you take time to look at the whole patient, to his history, to the way he stands, to the way he walks, to the way he moves, and you pick up information. And then, once you have picked up all this information, your hands know what to do. Isn't that amazing? And you will introduce an information, and the intelligence of the body will pick it up and try to react individually, punctually, the best possible way, because we are programmed to survive. Yes or no? So I know intelligence, there is a lot of talk about innate intelligence. Right or wrong? Do you believe in innate intelligence? Yes. I don't. How can you believe in something when I just told you believing is a jail? That was a trap and you fell into it directly. I don't believe in innate intelligence because I understand, because I know exactly how it works. And there is no way to discuss about it. There is no discussion. You cannot say, it exists, maybe I don't believe it. This is bullshit. Intelligence, innate intelligence is life. I give you a little story. I'm not playing smart, too smart. I read it yesterday, I think. I heard about a bird who flies. That bird flies from Alaska to New Zealand non-stop. Not even landing in the sea. Not eating. It lasts 10 days. 10,000 kilometers. Absolutely amazing. It's not a very big bird too. And before leaving Alaska, this bird picks up 45% more than this normal weight. Fat. That's why he doesn't have to stop to eat. And then, the last 3 days, he doesn't have enough fat anymore. You know what he does? He's eating its own proteins, the muscles of his wing. For the last 3 days, this allows him to reach New Zealand. For the birds who cannot make it, he will die. But think about it. 10,000 kilometers non-stop. Is that intelligent job or stupid job? Nature does that. You see, in one word, we've been always fighting nature, trying to prove we were smarter than nature, right? We can control things. We control the weather, the water, the air, the food. We control people. We control everything. But life is older than us. Life has experience. Life is billions of years old. We are very young in comparison. So we have to respect nature and learn from nature. And today, many biologists, many business people learn from nature. We call that biomimetism. Biomimetism. In other words, we learn from certain leaves, for example, to build some material to resist rain or cold or whatever. So this little bird teaches me something. I respect that. And life is a fruit of experience, not luck. There is no luck. When you bend down like this, have you ever seen anybody losing an eye? Falling down? No, think about it. Isn't that great that you can bend without leaving your eyes? It's a miracle. Gorgeous. Beautiful body. Works. You are all perfect. So conceive 1 second. Do you believe that, or do you think, the body would send you pain just to bother you? Just to understand the drug companies? Or just to support your office so you can pay the rent? Your body is sending messages, information. What do we do with this information? We kill it. We put it aside. Headache, aspirin. Pain, painkillers. Great. Because we live in a symptom society. Terrorism, police against terrorism. Less terrorism today than 10 years ago? In 1971, Nixon started a war against cancer. 1971. Is cancer better today than 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Think about it. And it's the same thing for fire. It's the same thing for the police. It's the same thing. We are always coming behind the problems. We fight the problems. And this is, in one word, the main difference, the originality, the identity of my profession and your future profession. We don't fight against something. We don't fight. We are the only ones who don't fight symptoms, as far as I've understood. We promote life. We work for something, for a better posture, for a better mobility, for good connection, because life is built on 3 factors that you find everywhere: information, communication, connection. This is true in your body, it's true in your family. If you don't believe me, don't speak to your boyfriend for a week or 2, you will see what he says. On connection, all the parts of the body stay connected. We've never seen so far a foot running away from the other foot. They stay together for about 650,000 hours, which is great. You know many machines that can work 650,000 hours? Respect. In chiropractic, we respect life, we respect nature. We are smart enough to understand that we are part of it. We are not separated from nature. We are not fighting to control nature. One word about nature too, I'm thinking when I say that about, do you know how many spiders there are? I've learned this all last night, don't worry about it. There are 41,000 kinds of spiders on Earth. Each of them builds a special silk in its constitution or structure. Isn't that crazy? And then we look at the headaches the same and we want to treat them the same way? That would be ridiculous. We have to respect the originality of each patient. And we don't want to take care of that pain, that symptom there and there, because symptoms are good. It's an information. Information, communication, connection. So, I love pain. I learn from pain. We are just trying to provide a little more freedom, better communication, better connection within the body. And so as soon as you do that, the nervous system picks it up and reacts accordingly. But nobody knows exactly, like Gonstead said, Nobody knows exactly the power of that adjustment because it's very simple. They are not two people the same. That's one point. And the second point is we cannot swim twice in the same river. You know about this one, right? In other words, if you adjust somebody now, and if you try to do the same thing in 1 hour, do you give the exactly same adjustment? So medical profession told us for decades, yeah, it's very good what you do, but you cannot reproduce it. No, I cannot reproduce it. But nature doesn't reproduce itself as we have learned it in school. Nature recreates itself each time. It's a new situation. It's never the same tree that's coming out. It's never the same flower. It's never the same person. Even if it's the same father and mother, you're going to have different kids, right or wrong? So chiropractic respect nature. We are the #1 ecological profession. We respect life, we respect nature, and we are concerned with everything that's affecting life negatively. And there is a lot of things to think about now, right? And when you understand the information, you don't have the choice. You will have to share it with your patient and make them understand. Try to free your patient from their belief. You know, because I have white hair and I've been practicing for quite a while, I have people coming to me still today, people that come from very, very far away. They spend hours traveling. And they come to me with X-rays, put on my desk, ERM, all kind of analysis on everything. Put them on my desk. I sit here, and I look at the person, and I say, you don't want me to take care of your pains, do you? And the patient said, oh yes, woke up this morning at 5 o'clock, got in the train, 6 hours and everything. And I look at him, and I say, I'm sorry, I don't take care of pain. So the patient looks very sad. And starts looking at his shoes. And he says, what am I doing here with this guy? He cannot help me. So I wait a few seconds, and then I say, you know, I'm a nice guy. So according to your weight and your size, I think that with half a bottle of whiskey, you should be able to take care of the pain. You will forget about your pain. Some people forget their name after half a bottle. And I also say, you know, I heard that marijuana could do the job too. If you want something, so this guy says, this guy is a quack. This guy is absolutely not serious. What am I doing here? So I wait a little. The eyes open up and he says, yes. I say, now we can start. You see the idea? Take patients out of this pain thing. Always. I am convinced that if you repeat to yourself now 50 times, I have a headache, you're going to get a headache. Each time you talk about pain, the nervous system picks up the information pain and acts accordingly to this information. So as chiropractors, we have to pull people away from their pain thing and try to show the patient that it's good that they have pain because the body is trying to say something. You understand the difference? With all other therapists, we have a unique profession in my eyes. And this is why we've had so much success. We think in a different way. We look at problems in a different way. That makes us unique. The symptom society is a failure. So the role of chiropractic in our society, you have no idea. You can change the world, simply. Did you hear that? I repeat it for you because you don't believe me. You're going to change the world. It's all in your mind. You want it, you don't want it. Are you happy with what we have? Or do you think there is a possibility to better the situation? What do you think? Maybe you think I cannot do it, right? Or I cannot change the world, it's too heavy for me. So if you say that, I will just mention one name that might ring a bell. Rosa Parks. You remember Rosa Parks? 1955? Who sat in another place in the bus. And because of this young lady, black and white people could travel at the same places in the bus. one person change the world. And this has happened so many times in history of mankind. One person. So you're going to start with you, to free yourself from reducing belief. What do you believe you are? Are you a therapist? Are you better than aspirin for headaches? Or marijuana? Nobody said anything, I was scared. I was really scared. No, we do a different job. We take care of people. We work with nature, we work with life. We respect life, we respect nature. And there is a lot of work to be done in that direction, right? Because we are threatened for at the time being. And chiropractors have got a special role to play. Now you choose. If you only want to take care of lumbalgia on the right side, it's your choice. I have nothing to say, or I have to respect that. But in my eyes, there is a lot more to achieve. And this is why role in society, everything has to be done. Now, birth, pregnant women, young babies, neurological development, crawling, pre-puberty time, puberty times, growing bones until 26 years old. There is so much to be done. And if you don't do it, I don't threaten you, but if you miss something, it will affect a person's life forever afterwards. And what does it take? It takes that you take the time to look at things. Because the body, you know this book from John Diamond, the body never lies. So if you look at a person, the way she stands, walks, moves, you can gather so many informations already that many other therapists don't look at because they are much too important to look at this. They look at the pain. They are concentrating on the pain because it's very noble to fight pain, right? We don't fight anything again. So we gather information from that person and we try to improve the situation. That's it. That's enough, and the body picks it up right away. Don't think of our body as a stupid machine, like Descartes said. You know, our body is so smart. You can feel a little hair on your lips, right? Just a little hair, so fine, so small. In biology, there is no small things. 1 millimeter can be a good change, a great change. Change a little something, and it affects the whole thing. This is what we do. So it's a very humble attitude too. Humble attitude because, yeah, it's true, I don't know if I'm going to get results, yes or no. I never know. But I love these uncertainties. It's good not to know. What do you think? Do you think it's good to know? So I tell you a beautiful sentence from Piaget that I really love. Piaget was a Swiss psychopedagogue. He was cited as being one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century. And he said a sentence that is a chiropractic sentence. Intelligence starts when we do not know what to do. If you know what to do, you don't have to think. You are a robot. You are a Pavlov dog, you know? The bell rings and it salivates, boom. You don't have to think. But if you don't know, then you have to be intelligent. So who are more intelligent, children or adults? Beautiful answer. But chiropractors ask always why, right? So why are children more intelligent? It's very simple. Because they've got less in their head. A lot less in their head. And they are confronted to situations where they have no experience. So each time they've got to find a new solution. You understand? Be a kid in your office. Be a child in your office. Play. Don't take yourself seriously, said BJ. It was written on the top of the door at my school, at Palmer College. Don't take yourself so goddamn seriously. But take the time to look. Take the time to forget your problems, to forget your ego, and to be with your patient 100%, whether he's 9 years old, 6 months old, or 90 years old. So you see the potential of the profession, the role of the future. Children, adults, elderly people, there is no limit. And then you might think, yeah, but I only want to take care of pain. I don't believe into that regular check on everything. So I tell you a story. I took care of a musician, a violinist from a Philharmonic Orchestra from Stuttgart in Germany. This young woman had big problems. She went to the hospital, many medical doctors. Very quickly, 90% of my patients have been seeing other doctors before, right? About 90% of my new patients. So this lady comes, and we are very lucky, sorted out, and she decided to come once a month for a check. Musician is a very tough job. You might know that. Huh? The posture, many hours to exercise on the concert and everything. A lot of stress, postural stress too. So we saw on one day, I remember it was very hot. And again, she traveled about 5 hours by train to come in the office. And she was going to take another trip, 5 hours, to go back home. And then she says, I would like to ask you a question. I said, sure, fine. Sure, fine, lay down on the back. So the lady's laying on her back. I didn't answer right away, but she was laying down. I said, I have also a question. She said, okay, fine, go ahead. And I said, do you have to adjust your violin once in a while? And she says, I understand. That's all. We adjust violins. Because she was thinking, you correct me on everything. Why it doesn't stay? Did you take a shower this morning? You can say the truth. I can see it anyway. Are you going to take another shower tomorrow? Who is certain? Thank you so much. Two want to wash tomorrow morning. Good to know. Nothing lasts forever. It's always changing, permanently changing. We are not in the Newtonian world completely defined. 100% uncertainties. Nothing heavier than light can fly. You remember that? No, you weren't born, you don't know about that. But you heard the sentence, right? Nothing heavier than air can fly. Look at all the planes. Now, belief system. So if we are ready, you can learn every day. And you learn from each patient. This is why I love this job so much. Because each time you see a situation, it's a new situation. You've never seen that patient before. You've never seen exactly the same situation before. Then you have to be on the tip of your toes and look, what's going on here? What's happening? Why? What can I do? And there is always something to be done. Whether people have cancer, we don't treat cancer, don't get me wrong, but cancer people have got pain sometimes too, you know? And if you can help a little bit, it's better than nothing. You never take a risk. You have to be very cautious when you do that. But you try. I remember when I say that about elderly people too. Some people think, well, chiropractic could be dangerous, elderly people, arthrosis, osteoporosis. I tell you something. We all have arthrosis, osteoporosis. Could start at 35 years old already. Depends. But one day I had a lady, 96, in my office. When she comes, and you know, she's standing. So I come into my room because I go from one room to another. So I'm standing, she's standing there, and I come in and I say, hello, how are you? And she starts crying. So when you see a person 96 crying, it's not very nice. I say, what's happening? What's happening? And she says, they want to operate me. I say, why? What's happening? What's going on? And she said, well, I cannot take a cup in my hand. I don't have the strength. I cannot do anything. So I take her hand, her wrist, and I swear, I do a little adjustment of the wrist. And this lady, I make the test, you know, the muscle test. She's right away stronger after I've done the little correction there. And she goes away. I said, I don't even ask money. After 90 years old, I don't charge my patients. That's why I have so many, maybe. I have to think about it. Change my program. So I said, I don't charge. And I said, come back in 2-3 weeks. We take a look. And this lady come 2-3 weeks later. If you work for the pleasure, you'll always be rich. I've learned this from a colleague in Atlanta, a DE meeting years ago, I will never forget. At the time, I was hungry. No job, I had lost my job. No money at all, and we went with a few friends to Atlanta. It was in 69, 70. It was fun, Atlanta, at that time. It was still underground Atlanta. Many clubs there. Really fun. And then this guy offers me a job. He said, Jean-Paul, when you are finished, you can come with me to my office in Paris or in Cannes. He had 2 offices. He was extremely successful. And I will never forget what he told me. He said, you want to be successful and make a lot of money? I said, yeah, why not? And he said to me, never work for money. Ever work for money. Provide the best possible service and money will flow in. You know, I told you, you could be my kids. And this is the way I spoke to my children too. Don't work for money. Don't become a slave of money. Forget money. Do a good job. Think about something. All the people who are very successful in life, in our society, they don't work, they play. They play with ideas. They do their sport. They create things. And they are very wealthy and very rich. Working people don't make money. The people who work very hard building streets and stuff like that, they're always poor, right? So think, use your head. How can I help this person the best possible way? For the next 2 hours, your choice. For a week. I want to help people for a month only. No, forever. And this is a new role of chiropractic in our society. Society is changing a lot. You know, I built my business with 20th century, with muscle work. You know, in a vertical system, people working in factories, carrying stuff, back problem, absenteeism. What's happening today? 80% of the people don't work with their body or muscles anymore, right? They work with the computer, they work with the head. So we don't have the same problem. It's not the same patients, actually. It's always changing. Our body's changing every second, but society is alive too, so it's also changing. It's not the same job, the same postures. The kids today are watching a telephone 2-3 hours a day with your neck bent forward, as you know. People don't move enough. Everybody knows it. So we're going to be confronted to a new society. And people don't want painkillers anymore. They don't want to use you as a painkiller anymore. They want a coach. They want to be in contact with you very soon, 24 hours a day. And say, Doc, they will send you an email, internet, and they will say, Doc, I feel a bit reduced on the right side. It's not very painful, but I notice my neck is not moving as well as one side and the other. You think I could step in tomorrow or come in tomorrow? People don't wait. We are talking about prevention. Chiropractic is the #1 preventive medicine in the world. Not number 2, #1, I say. Why? I tell you something. Look at me walk. I'm walking in that direction. Look at my head. Where is my head going? Straight, right, or left? You didn't look. You see, you are asleep. I told you, you have to look at the patient. Look at my head. If you take a line there, look. Clearly, my head is going on this side, each step, right? No, you didn't see it. Yes or no? Yes. Thanks God. This is the bite time. This is digestion time now. I know, I understand. I'm open-minded. So, if I have 200 grams weight here on the right leg, and if I do it about 3,000 times a day, how many kilos are we talking about? Now, that's very complicated what I ask now. Okay, let's make it short. At the end of the year, we are speaking of tens of tons on the same side, right? If you don't see it, you will miss the problem. But if you see a patient coming to you with a shoulder problem, and if you don't cut your leg, you're making a mistake. You have to look the whole thing. So chiropractic is also the #1 holistic profession, because we are not only concerned with one part of the body, but with the whole person. Now, on is the future. This is the big difference. This is a big difference. So this reminds me of the story of the old man who goes to see a young medical doctor, and he walks a bit like this. And the young MD says, "You've got arthrosis in your hip." And the old man says, "Are you sure, doc?" And the young doctor says, "Yeah, I'm 100% sure." And he says, "You know, at your age, 78, you know, that's the way it goes." And the old man thinks for a second and says, "Doc, I don't believe you." So the young doctor says, "Why?" I say, "You know, if it would be the time, my left leg has got exactly the same age as the right one, and I have no pain." You understand that? So if you look or don't look makes a big difference for people in the future. And then some people want to cut the body still. They want to cut the body into pieces, structural, mechanical. The body is one. If somebody tells you that things are not related in the body, please laugh. Make fun. I will explain to you how I can explain this to my patients. I've wrote this in a book long time ago. I have to put this down. And there was an old master, younger than me now, and this guy told me, "If you find a problem with the right foot, do something with the left hand." So I went back home with my friends. We had dinner together. So I told the story, and I was laughing. Everybody was laughing at the table. And I said, "This guy is a bit funny, you know, right foot, left." It's another world. It's a different. It took me 25 years to understand exactly why, actually. I understood that when I stood up from my desk, and I just did what I showed you. The center of the propeller is here, right? And it's here. 80% of the problems with the posture. And the second propeller goes, I forgot to tell you that, there is a second propeller. When my one blade looks in that direction, my head would go on the other direction because of the trapezius. Do you understand? So there is another center of the propeller here, or here. 20% of all problems related to posture. So you understood in about 20 seconds that my right foot has an influence on the entire posture, right or wrong? The body is one, completely one. And this is why you cannot only concentrate your attention on one problem there on the shoulder here. They are all interrelated. Who knew that before us? Who said that before us? The Chinese. They knew everything was interrelated. Traditional Chinese medicine, they already understood, you know, that the holistic vision of the body. But then we cut everything into pieces. If you walk around the street, you will see specialists for the lungs, for the heart, for the nerves, for the bones, for everything. Everything is separated. So I speak to dentists sometimes, and I say, "How many of you look at your patient standing or walking?" So they look one another. Nobody does. And I say, "Don't you think that gravity could have an influence on your TMJ joint?" And then the dentist starts opening his mouth, which is a great achievement. You know, if you can do that. Yeah, because when they get into the room, the patient is already laying down with his mouth open. They don't look at the teeth only. We look at everything. We look at the teeth too, don't we? Or you don't want to look at the teeth? Well, you choose. But the more information you get, the more chances you have to get the right answer. And I can explain this to you in 1 second, you will understand right away. Here I am standing in that small corner, right? 90 degrees information. 90 degrees possibilities to find the right answer for this information. Now, if I stand here, it's twice as much, 180 degrees. Twice as much information, twice as much possibilities to find the right answer. Now, if I am here, it's 360 degrees, right? 4 more times, 4 more information than in my small corner. More information, more stimulus for the nervous system. Think about now, each little joint of the body functions this way. If you get one toe that doesn't work properly, it affects the whole thing. Compensation, we call it. But a small problem with the right foot could give problem with the knee, because they communicate, email, every second. On the right foot says, hey, I am a bit stuck, can you help me? On the knees are very friendly with the feet, normally. They say, okay, I try to take a little more weight for you to help you out. And then it goes to the hip, goes to the pelvis, goes to the shoulder girdle, to the neck, and you get headaches because of one foot. Do you understand why you have to look at the whole thing and there is no shortcut? Let's not stick strictly to pain and symptoms at one point, please. This is the originality of our profession. This is the identity of the profession. We are concerned by life, not only now, in the future. And we have all learned about the law of evolution, right? Is your body the same now than a year ago? Be honest now. Joking. At your age, it's not changing very fast. But when you were a baby, it was changing very fast, right? And you know this innate intelligence, we call it homeostasis, but it's been known everywhere in the world for thousands of years. Ka in Egypt, Ki, I always thought chiropractic in China, Mana, Prana in India, Vis medicatrix naturae for Hippocrate, Arceus, the force of life for Bergson, Nietzsche, the will of power. All these terms are evoking innate intelligence, that survival mechanism that we have within us. And this is our best friend as chiropractor. This is what we work with every single day. We stimulate that force, that will to survive, to adapt permanently. And this is our originality. We stimulate that force, that capacity to react and to adapt. And if you change somebody's foot, you can change the whole posture. Don't forget that 18% for everything we eat has to do with gravity. So if somebody has a bad posture, we are not talking about 18%, we are talking about 20% energy wasted. And this is why people with the age, evolution, they go into flexion, right? More and more flexion. The feet goes in, pronated feet, head forward, so they breathe with more difficulty. Is it good for the heart to be like this? Is it good for the digestive system to walk like this? Do you understand what I mean? So when you see a patient 30, 40, your job is to anticipate what will this posture give in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. And you try to help. And this is why personally, well, I have to tell you that, because it's not in my honor at all. By coincidence, I see an old couple in the office, and I said, nice to see you, and I see on your card you've been in my office many, many times. They said, yeah, we never met you before, but we've been coming regularly for years. So I see these people, they walk, I ask them to walk first, and then they lay on their back, and I measure the mobility of the leg, and these people are 78 or 76, man and wife. And I can't believe it. They put the leg up over 90 degrees, same thing on the other side, abduction 90 degrees, absolutely perfect. So I say, oh, unbelievable. The lady is the same, both of them. And I said, I congratulate you. And the man says to me, you know, we've been coming to your office for 16 years, regularly every 4 weeks or every 6 weeks. You don't have to ask people to come back. You never do that. In Europe, it's not very well seen too when you force people. Remember Reggie said, you cannot, people are like boiled spaghetti. You cannot force them, you can only pull them. But if people tell them to take an appointment, my patients take an appointment before my adjustment. And they tell me, oh, already got my adjustment for next time. Great. Because they understood. Why did they understand? Because I explain it. I give lectures sometimes. I wrote books. You know, so you will have to communicate. Remember, information, communication, connection. So you share information. You take example on the body. Life is possible because of these three factors. The life of your office is based also with these three factors: information, communication, connection. And it's going to be more and more important for you in the future in our society. You know why? Because there are more and more people who are willing to make a living on pain. More and more people. And you're going to be different. You're going to offer another vision to your patient, and they will understand, and they will be thankful, and they will stay with you and refer other people. They will send their children. They will send brothers, sisters, grandparents, family, whatever. And this is what happens. I'd never done any advertising in my life, ever. But in my office, we still see 50 new patients a month, regularly, without doing anything. Because if people are happy, what do they think? They speak about it. Oh, this guy's different. This guy is a bit funny because he mentioned whiskey first, and then I feel much better now. Make people smile. Take them away from pain and symptom. Take them away from their fears and worries. The whole society functioning is built on fear. Fear losing your job. Fear being sick. You remember that story about taking aspirin preventively? And now they found out that it was absolutely useless. You read about this maybe. Read. Read. Gather information. Gather information from top people. Read Bruce Lipton. Read Rupert Sheldrake. Hear Guy Rickman speak. Brian Kelly speak. Read Heidi Havik. Listen to Dr. Patrick Freud presenting chiropractic to medical professors at the University of McGill. It's a YouTube video that nobody should miss. If you want to really listen to a scientific, positive explanation of our profession, I do not know any better. Do you think chiropractic is against science? Chiropractic needs science, definitely. Definitely. Because chiropractic needs more understanding. You know, before I die, I would love to understand better what I do when I adjust a person. I can see the result. I can see the people are happy, more mobile, they complain a lot less and everything. But what's going on? And I think the answers will be given by neurology, biophysiology. Try to understand much better this mechanism. Science is helping chiropractic. We need the top science, definitely. But at the same time, we need to remember that nature is the best doctor in the world, because nature has been practicing, as I said, for billions of years. Nature knows what to do. And we tend to forget this because people have been fighting nature. Nature was scary, you know, when we did not understand storms, snow, whatever what's happening. People always wanted to control nature. And now we understand how much we need to learn still from nature. And this is why we learn from each patient. Each time I see a baby, I am impressed. I have a little 2 years old. The mother says, "Say hello to the doctor." And the kid says, "No." And the mother is embarrassed. She says, "Just say hello to the doctor." "No." And as soon as I see that, I love the kid. It takes gut to say no. And this is what we do as chiropractors. We say no. We say no to that system that's killing people today. We say no to pollution. We say no to the primitive system, pain, aspirin, or painkiller. Or pain at the wrist, we will adjust the wrist. We will cut the wrist and make surgery. There is no way back when you get surgery. Chiropractic first, medicine second, surgery last. A survey was made in Germany with orthopedic surgeons. 86%, it was published in Stern magazine, 86% of the surgeons were asked the question, for you or your family, would you get back surgery? 86% said no. Do you think they are so idiots? They know it's dangerous. Every month in my office we see about between 60 to 80 people who had back surgery. The best I saw is one guy, he was not 50, he was 48 something. He got operated 10 times. And the last time, I still remember that, the surgeon said to him, this time we're gonna operate from your abdomen to reach the back. It is no joke. And then he came to me. I said, well, maybe we should try the belly too. Crazy. But don't forget, people need your help. They need your understanding. They need you to be smart so you can explain exactly what's going on. Not to say, don't go to the surgeon, don't take pills. You have to be able to say why. And you say, give a chance to nature first. Trust your body. Trust your body. Trust this power of life. Don't forget that a kid, 9 months till 3 years old, will fall on his bottom about 2,500 times. And each time he will get up. Nobody tells him anything. He will try himself. He has this power. Isn't that unbelievable? This is what we stimulate in people. That's all we do. A little impulse can have very big effects. This is what fractal mathematics teaches us today. Everything I've learned in school years ago, 50 years ago, is wrong today. All books need to be rewritten. If you talk about biology, if you talk about physiology, if you talk about neurology, everything has changed, right? We gather information, it gets quicker and quicker. Well, you better learn too. So you are able to communicate with your patients efficiently. So some of you are still studying. Do you think that when you will be finished in school, you will stop studying? On the contrary, this is where you really can learning things that are a pleasure. And you will enjoy it. I swear it to you. And you will notice that chiropractic is everywhere, in all books. Sociologues write about chiropractic. You know why? Because the principles of life, universal principles, they still apply. They are not outdated. What D.D. Palmer wrote in his book, for example, 1914, it's amazing. So much in advance. He was talking about vibrations. He was talking about tone. He was talking about energy. He was talking about intelligence, about power, before Max Planck. You know who Max Planck is? He's the father of quantum physics. Chiropractic needs quantum physics. So read Bruce Lipton, please. Stick around this type of people. They have such an understanding. They are pulling you up. You see? Don't adjust people with fear. 45 years. I am not the best adjuster in the world, but everything goes fine. You know? You have to be completely drunk to miss somebody out, I think. If you do a proper job, very gentle, nothing will happen. No negative effects. Little muscle work maybe, because you change the posture. That's it. Last 2 days, 3 days maximum. Then it's gone. But then you gain 10 degrees mobility. On 15 there, all together with one adjustment, one session, your patient will go out with maybe 60 degree more mobilities, 60 degree more information. This is why it's so important. And now when I say that, I have to tell you something. In the brain, 3/4 of the brain are sensory, and 1/4 only is motor, which means that our nervous system needs information not provided by the nociceptors, as we thought about it, but by the mechanoceptors. The mechanoceptors are in charge of controlling the movement of each structure in the body. Also, not only the joints and the muscles and everything, but the stomach, the lungs, the heart, everything moves. Did you know that? There is nothing blocked. Everything has to move. There is no life without movement. So our job has to do with bringing movement. And then we get into real complicated things. Because as you know, your cells are replacing every day at the rate of 200 millions. Who is in control? Do you control your cell change? What do you control? Your boyfriend's life? What do you control? Not much. If you have a 2 years old, you will see how difficult they are to control. But it takes strength to say no. It takes strength to go against the system. And this is the story of chiropractic. You know, we've been in advance for decades. But think of J.D. Palmer at the time when he was saying, the body is the whole thing. And at the time, the people were very busy cutting the body into pieces to try to reach the atom, you know, atom that we cannot cut. That's what it means. J.D. said, each individual is unique. Individual means, etymologically, that cannot be divided, right? And what did the scientists at that time? They were cutting the body into pieces. J.D. said something about the intelligence of the body. And this is quackery. There is no intelligence in the body. We scientists are intelligent. We've got the knowledge. But knowledge is the opposite of intelligence, as we said earlier. Knowledge, science is built on knowledge, but what's pulling science, bringing science forward, it's what we don't know. A researcher gets up in the morning, he doesn't know what he's going to find. If he knew what he was going to find, there is no sense searching, right? All scientists don't know what's going to happen. On what we know already compared to what we will know in 10 years, it's a joke. So that's why we should not take seriously. But the universal principles are still valid. Universal intelligence, innate intelligence, it has been going on for quite a while. So, time goes fast. I don't know about you, for me it goes too fast. So, I just want to show you something, just to make it quick. We live in a dual system. We love to separate things. We've built computers with 1 or 0. You all know about that. We cut people into pieces, and we decide that they are good people, bad people. Tall people, small people. Rich people, poor people. Sick people, the patients, or healthy people, which is bullshit in my eyes. We are all sick, or we are all healthy, right? And sometimes, to make it interesting, being sick shows that you are very healthy, right? If you have fever, if you vomit, whatever. So, the dual system rules our society completely. No fire. Whoops, something broke. See, you played with that. Who played with my toy? How many joints? Let's not talk about joint here. So,
Josh Siki year, that's 360.
thank you. Little information, big effect, right? And you know why I told you each adjustment is unique? Because if I do that in 1 second, and this is the big thing about quantum physics, the eyes of the observer play a role in what's happening there. This is the big difference with Newton, okay? So we are talking about complexity, and the body is the most complex thing in the world. This is why if you reduce it to pain, it could be very comfortable for you, but you are far away from the truth. You are very, very far away. And we have to respect this complexity. This is what we do in our profession. You know, sometimes you get, I weight my words. Sometimes you see complicated stuff. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm thinking of multiple sclerosis. I was talking with this professor last night about it. You know multiple sclerosis, Guillain-Barré syndrome, that kind of thing. The myelin goes away from the nerve, so no communication. And you see results with something like that, and you wonder. People walk with canes when they come in. 3 months later, they play tennis. And you say, my God, what's going on? It's crazy. I swear I've seen that so many times. And then you have the little lombalgia, you know, I have a little pain when I get up in the morning. And then you work, and you adjust, and you adjust, and you adjust, and nothing. This is a school of humility, you know, because we are in the complex system, in the complexity. It's never easy, never. But this is the pleasure to try to find the right key, the right solution from that person, be able to help. So this to me is a very good example of what we do when we adjust. We don't know what's going to happen. And the people who can tell me they can control joints, muscles, tendons, ligaments, I would say respect, because I don't believe in it one single second. It's too complex. Do you remember all the muscles in the back? You are students, you should know. I remember, so be careful. Do you remember the name of all of them? How do you want to correct people and to be a real doctor? It has nothing to do with that. Remember what Hippocrates said? Hippocrates said, don't tell me about the condition. Tell me about the person that presents the condition. He was already thinking of looking at the individual as a whole, you know, and this is chiropractic to me. I never use my notes. I've worked like crazy for this. I never use them. Why? Because intelligence starts when you don't know what to do. I could have read this very easy, you know. I could have got a chair here and speak like a big professor with white hair, you know. I decided not to. Is it 3:45? Yes, huh? I have so much stuff to tell you. So much stuff I want to tell you still. So talking about the way you look at things, I like this sentence from Lao Tzu. He said, if you change the way you look at things, things you are looking at will change. Exactly what we said. If you correct the mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. So really, it has to do, when you talk about the future of our profession, it has to do with what you think today. What do you want to do? You want to take care of pain? Respect. You want to take care of pain low back only? Respect. I don't care. But there is a lot more to do in my eyes, as far as I'm concerned. It goes much further than that. And this is the wealth of our profession. And this is very important in my eyes, because our role could be expanded in society, in a society that is changing permanently with more and more stress. Kids have got a lot of stress in school. Do you know about this? The rhythm goes much quicker, and they have bad habits. They sit in school 30 hours a week. They look at their screen, computer, or they play 15 hours a week. They watch TV at least 10 hours a week. They travel 10 hours a week to go to school back home. They sit permanently. So, what's happening? Women have got more and more osteoporosis. Oh, you're an idiot. How can you speak between school, the kids, and osteoporosis when people are old? Is there a relationship? I tell you why. We build our bones between 13 and 16 years old. The density of the bone is directly dependent on the pressure. The more you play sport, you run, you walk, the stronger your bones will be. And what we notice today, there is more and more osteoporosis for ladies. Because we don't use our body, our feet, the same way our grandparents did it. They used to walk much more. It was not so flat, so hard. Yet it was an exercise for the feet, because it was irregular, you know, with stones and holes and stuff like that. Now it's always flat and hard. On this small information, they end up here, right? This is why you have to keep an eye on your and share these informations with children. You have kids, 7 years old, 8 years old, they walk like this already. So you have to teach them. So you don't tell them, stay straight, doesn't work. Doesn't work. But if you tell the kids, you play football? And he says, yes, 90%. You say, you want to run fast or slow? Generally speaking, they say fast. They want to run fast, all of them. You say, well, if you walk like this, you will be much slower than if you go like that. So stand straight. You will be much quicker to play football. And they go off my office like this. And next time when they come back, they are very careful, so they stand very straight. I said, you know, I noticed you improve a lot. You took conscience of what's going on in your core, or in your body. Did I say core? Yeah, in French, sorry. So I give them €5. Don't tell anybody I buy my patients, please. I give him €5. And the kid, no doctor in his life has given him any money, right? And the parents say, oh no. I said, I'm so happy with your little boy. So the little boy is all positive, feels very good. I've changed one life with €5 on 2 minutes of my time because I love the kid, because I love the people. If you don't love your patients, forget about it. And there is always something to love, whether they are 3 months old, 96, even if they are a pain in the neck because they complain permanently, you put the pain away and you say, don't speak about that. Let's speak about how lucky we are to breathe, to walk. And I tell also patients sometimes, I say, you know, you could have 1, 2, 3 millions in the bank. If your feet cannot carry you to go to the restroom at night when you are 80, life won't be fun. So they think prevention. What can I do to stay out of the pain? Everybody else does it. All the osteopaths, the physiotherapists, the mechanists, the medical doctors, they love pain. They live from that. We want to live from love, on life, on help, on service. This is what I've learned in school. It has helped me so much. This is what I wish for everybody, to have so much luck, so much experience. So I never worked. I decided a long, long time ago never to work. I never work. I enjoy what I do, permanently, because I don't know what the next patient will be, what's going to happen. It's a surprise, and this is exactly what's happening with society. You have to be ready to adapt. And if our profession cannot adapt to the new changes in our society, it's going to be bad for chiropractic. So remain elastic. Flexibility, adaptability. Where do we learn this concept? In our body. My number one teacher is the body. It teaches us everything because it's highly intelligent. What does it mean, intelligent? One more little thing. It means to be able to take with. Intelligo in Latin. In, lego, to carry. In English, understand. You stay under, but you can carry. And you've got to be free in your mind, free from your reducing belief in order to adapt to the changes in our society. People work in a different way. I tell you something, 80% of the jobs in 10 years don't exist today. It's going to be other job, other thing. And one last thing, maybe I could say about the society changing. I don't know why, but some people seem to have interest to always speak about fear and worry, job situation, economy, money, whatever you want. If people work with that in their mind, their nervous system, they are protecting themselves and using the reptilian brain, which is the posterior brain, right? They are in protection mode. You cannot be both together. It's either protection or creativity, frontal lobes. So most of the people, kids in school, people having a job in an office, 40 years old, elderly people, everybody has fear. Fear of dying, fear of pain, fear of whatever you want. If you adjust people, you make them free from that. So they can use the frontal lobes. And this is the last study from Heidi Havik. I hope you heard about it, reality check, where an adjustment stimulates the frontal lobes. This is the latest research. I mean, it's highly important for us. Makes a big difference. And then, if people can use the frontal lobes, They can be creative. They can be intelligent. They can be innovative. And this is what we need in our society now to solve the old problems. If we want to sort out the old problems, we have to change paradigm. We have to bring a new way of thinking. If you keep thinking the same way, nothing will change. And as chiropractors, we are bringing in a new way to think. The new way to think, I repeat it, it's not fighting the thing. It's promote what's good. It's promote service. It's promoting love. It's promoting helping. And if you have a family, if you have one man coming, make it easy for him to understand that if he loves his wife, he should have his wife come for a check. Now, if you do this, thinking about money, you know, like this Donald Duck thing, with a dollar sign in his eyes, the patient will notice it right away. That's why I said never work for money. But if you are sincere, and if you say, I'd like to see your wife one day or your kids, you don't charge them. If you are asking patients to come, you never ask money. But you look with your patient, you look at the wife or the kids walking. You look at the mobility, because I have a big mirror in my office. And people look, say, I never noticed that. Nobody ever told me that. That's it, that's a difference. I tell you a little story. Here in Ivry, 10 kilometers from here, one woman asked me to take care of her. And I said no, because I try not to see patients here at my home. Oh, it's good. She said, but you know, my husband is. I said, yeah, I know. She says, I saw all the top professors in Paris because I had access to these top people, you know. Nobody helped me. They offered me surgery, but they didn't know exactly why. 10 minutes. You change her life in 10 minutes. But I looked at her carefully to try to decide what to do, you know. And then I was lucky because the body reacts always positively. You cannot send an information without something happening. It's impossible. So people say, well, I don't notice anything, but your body noticed. Your nervous system notices because it's very awake. All these stories, I'm telling you, it is clear that it's only to build my ego. Huh? You understood that? Because I still need it a bit. What do you think? No, I don't need it anymore. You know, they say it takes 20 years to build an ego and 60 years to get rid of it. You know, because it's very strong. And our ego, it's this. You are what you believe. Tell me what you believe, I will tell you who you are. Very simple. That's why we've got to get free from that. So let's see, page 1. Let's start again. You know, I wanted to give you a little time to ask a few questions if you had them. Well, it's a bit negative to say that. Well, I say it because I want to change your belief system, I admit it. So this is relatively new. When our society system has, it is simply no longer possible to believe much of the clinical research that is published or to rely on the judgment of trusted physicians or authoritative medical guidelines. I take no pleasure in this conclusion, which has reached slowly over my last 2 decades as an editor of the New England Journal of Medicine. Dr. Marcia Angel, former editor-in-chief, New England Journal of Medicine. You know, this journal is a Bible for medical doctor. Did you understand what I said? What I read? Why? We are not against medicine. We are not, but we are not a second-class medicine either. Don't believe that 1 second. We are top people. We are the number 1 people, not number 2. If some of you failed medicine to become chiropractors, I congratulate you. You are very lucky, because this is a change. There is no hazard in life. If you fail doing something and you find yourself studying chiropractic, you should say thank you. The same way if you fall, as this little boy, 10 months old, afterwards he will say thank you because this is the way he could learn to walk. Right? So you didn't fail anything. You made yourself lucky enough to have access to chiropractic today. And be proud of this job. Keep your head up. Well, it's easy for me. I'm sorry to show off again, but at this point, more or less, it's okay. I had the privilege to take care of 12 presidents around the world, chiefs of state, you know, just not to tell you how good I am. I'm not good. I don't consider myself good, but I was able to build trust with these people just by explaining the chiropractic principle. Not because I am better. I don't consider myself at all as better, but I could maybe communicate better than some of my colleagues. And when you reach that, you say, well, these people, they are private medical doctors, professor, always. But if they call upon a chiropractor, it means that chiropractic has something else to offer that they don't have, right? This is what I would like you to be aware of. We've got something that other people don't have. And that's something, it is the amount of love, curiosity that you have to protect life. And this is what I find so great. And it can only be positive. Okay, I'm almost finished. I wanted to ask if you had a few questions. Don't ask me the name of the presidents, by the way. Although I could. For the one who died, especially. Okay, I just wanted to say that. I love this sentence too. Don't forget, patients don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's a famous sentence in chiropractic. I think I'm okay. I wish you a great day. I wish you a great Congress. I wish you a great life. Thank you.